is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy D Dyson. Man, we have made it to the end of the year, and this is my list of the best movies of 2022 that I watched, or just say in general. I'll get to that a little bit later. But without further ado, I'll do my honorable mentions very, very fast and no particular order, which number one is Knives Out, A Glass Onion. I really enjoyed that movie. I think Daniel Craig and just the ensemble cast, I can't wait to see what Rian Johnson does with the next one. The next honorable mention is number two, The Adam Project. I think it was Back to the Future. It was Marvel. It was so many elements rolled into one. E.T. and Ryan Reynolds, just Zoe Saldana. It was something very, very different, and I loved it. Number three, final, is Jackass Forever. I loved it. I laughed from start to finish. New cast. I missed that, Bam wasn't there. I hope he sobers up. But nevertheless, it was funny, and I loved it. So, best top 10 movies of 2022. Number 10, Elvis. Austin Butler portraying the greatest showman ever lived with Elvis Presley. And I must say I was entertained with Baz Luhrmann's interpretation of Elvis. And just sucks that Colonel Parker really messed him over, where he could have did international shows and he could have really made a lot more money and had a huge fortune. But unfortunately, Colonel Parker was an illegal immigrant, so he couldn't go anywhere outside the United States. So he just made Elvis slave away at Vegas, turning him basically to a workhorse, which inevitably killed him, with the overdose. But Elvis was such a talent. He was different. A lot of people will say that he stole from black music, but I just like he had his own interpretation. He was very influenced by black culture and made it his own. So I really enjoyed that interpretation of Elvis. Number 9, The Good Nurse. My gosh, this was such a good movie. If I'm not mistaken, 2 Academy Award winners. With Jessica Chastain, and I really can't think of a boy's name, but man, it's at the tip of my tongue, playing Stephen Hawking. I'll always remember him playing Stephen Hawking. I think that's what he got an Academy Award for. But when I seen this, I didn't know this was based on a true story, and then I was like, whoa, it really is. It was such a good movie, and very high intense, very slow paced, because you didn't know what he was doing until they started showing. I was like, this man is really killing patients, which is so messed up, and he had no particular range. You saw him kill old women, you saw him kill the wife. It was just, he would just do it just because, and basically because he wasn't getting caught. And I really loved how they broke this movie down, because to me, it almost mirrored what really happened. And I was like, whoa, these are the same hospitals. Like, it was crazy. And I really enjoyed it. I couldn't go to sleep because I was like, this is such a good movie. Number 8, Day Shift. Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, Dave Franco, very entertaining. Love the soundtrack to the movie with the death row. Snoop Dogg is getting paid. And I knew it was just that cheesy 90s, From Dusk Till Dawn type of movies with vampires, but it was so incredibly entertaining for its time, for right now. And like I said, with the grandmother in the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is so crazy. But I love Jamie Foxx playing a vampire hunter in LA. Loved it. If you guys ever check that out on Netflix, you guys should be watching that. Number 7. Very controversial because I haven't watched this yet, but I'm putting this on my list off hype alone because I am definitely going to watch. Was going to go to the movies to watch it, but had no time. The Whale. Brendan Fraser, as I come to realize, when he did Actor on Actor with Adam Sandler. I put this on my list because just by sheer seeing the video of the standing ovation from Brendan Fraser and with this movie, And that made me almost tear up, because it made me wonder what happened to Brandon Fraser. Where'd he go? And then you start going back to being blackballed, and then he went to a divorce and slight depression. Didn't know if he wanted to work, to come through with this performance, because he channeled all of that and put that in this performance. And my gosh, just by the trailer alone, I don't think I've seen a more emotional and moving trailer than I've seen with this movie, and it made me tear up. So that's why I was like, I'm going to watch this. This is on my list. Where the place is, it may be higher. Who knows? But I'm going to watch this. Number 6, The Woman King. Viola Davis really portrayed the homemade African Amazonian warrior, like security guards, king's guards. And just as she really had to really fight her way, as she's being like the high chief, just take no prisoners, no mercy, but have compassion, having a ruling state, understanding, and just having that sovereignty as a leader. And that's why the king was really like, no, she has to be here. You know what I'm saying? Very touching movie, very moving movie. And I remember a lot of backstrap was like, oh yeah, they sold slaves and a lot of things. And I was happy that they touched on all of that. But I just really told myself, at this time, I really wish it was kind of a little bit sooner for everyone to watch, because I wanted everyone to really marvel over this. But they were holding this to such a high esteem to Tom Cruise and what he did. But nevertheless, this is really a classic movie that people are going to have to go back and go see. Number 5, Avatar 2. Such a beauty, such a beautiful movie to watch. Watched it in 3D. The how they want to say, like the rate of it, the film rate, like just how it looked, beautiful. Blue world, something plot points was very questionable, but I love that they moved the story even after like 10 or 12 years later. But just seeing how this was doing, I'm like, yeah, this already had $1 billion in the box office. This is a beautiful movie. It is a beautiful movie. We're in Pandora, fully in Pandora. I loved every minute of it. I feel like you could have, for it to be 3 hours, you could have tied in some plot points, but I understand moving the story forward so we can get to the seed bearer in a couple years. Loved it. Number 4, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. And seeing this movie, knowing that Chadwick Boseman had passed away, I feel like the cast, director Ryan Coogler, like I've always said, Ryan Coogler not going to make anything bad. And I loved what they did in moving the story forward and putting in that your leader is gone. I really think Angela Bassett should get that Academy Award for this, because she, oh my gosh, performance carried it. And you can tell that it hurt me what happened, but you could tell that she wanted the younger ones to shine. Like, I don't want to carry the movie. And believe me, she could have. She freaking could have. That's why I love this movie. Angela Bassett did her thing in it. And I love how it's world building still, and it's moving the MCU forward. Number 3, The Batman. The best superhero movie that we got this year with The Batman. It changed the game, as always. It, to me, holds up there with The Dark Knight. Just alone, the chase scene, when you see the Batmobile, that was one of primetime cinemas that we will forever etched in our minds to be like, you remember where you saw this movie and that chase scene. Watching that in the movies, oh my God, very exhilarating. Very, very exhilarating, to the point to where it's like, I see why so many people are watching it 2 and 3 times, 4 times. I watched it that one time and I was like, I'm like, this is a movie to be loved, to be cherished, to really have this steeped in realism. And that's why I love this so much. Best superhero movie of 2022 belongs to The Batman. DC better follow up on it. Hope they build on it. Bring Michael Keaton in. I don't know why they're not doing Batman Beyond. Bring him in the Flash. I don't know what they're doing at DC, but they better fix it. But you have things like this in Peacemaker to stand on moving forward. Number 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I was like, this movie just came out of nowhere, took the world by storm. When Spider-Man No Way Home dropped, the first multiverse type of movie with different Spider-Mans, and then you got this multiverse movie. Totally different, indie budget. Oh my God, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Michelle, you did such a phenomenal job, but oh boy, from Indiana Jones and the Goonies, man, every time he was on screen, kept my eyes, just glued. Wayman kept my eyes on screen, and I loved it because you were trying to understand it from start to finish, and you just like, what the hell is going on? And I love that because this is a part of cinema that you just got to go for the ride. We went for the ride, and it paid off because this was something way left that nobody has ever even figured out how to make this type of movie, and somebody made it, and it was beautiful. Every award, everything goes to their way. Michelle Yeoh, everyone. I hope that they come to collect when it comes to award season because this was such a riveting and beautiful movie. Number 1, of course, is Top Gun Maverick. Pissed that I could not see this in the movies, but watched it nonetheless, and I'm still watching it now that it's on Paramount Plus. And man, you couldn't roll in that nostalgia. You didn't know this was supposed to come out in like 2020. You didn't know, what was going to be. But I remember watching the trailer and seeing the cockpit shots of, the flying in snow. And, I was like, oh my gosh, they upped the ante. The way that these stunts are made are more modern, but still had that vintage feel. You had Val Kilmer in it to give you those. It really tugged at the heartstrings. I think I teared up seeing Val Kilmer. And when I watched that Val documentary, I was like, and I was seeing Top Gun come out, I was like, please let him be in this because unfortunate what happened to Val Kilmer, one of my favorite actors of all time, spanning from Willow to the Batman Forever. Like, this man really had range, and this was one of them with Iceman. And seeing Tom Cruise don this character, I loved the family essence with Goose and his kid, with Rooster, and you still had Maverick being Maverick, but just an older Maverick of this is who I am. And I love that it combined it so many different elements where I was like, oh my gosh, this is a classic, a new age classic movie, deemed a classic, first $1 billion movie for Tom Cruise. So he wants to follow up on it. I loved every minute of it. I love these movies. It's a couple of movies I haven't watched, like The Fabelmans. I think The Banshees of Ireland or something like that with Colin Farrell. It's a couple of movies I didn't watch that I want to watch, especially for awards season. I want to watch the awards just to kind of see what performances I didn't get to see so I can kind of really brush up on that. But as far as this is my top 10 because these are the movies that entertain the hell out of me, that touch me in a way where I was like, this is different and this is cool. We are back to great TV, great cinema, and we're back in the movies. I'm here for it. So, you guys enjoyed my top 10 best movies of 2022. Subscribe to my channel, post, comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D. Dyson. Peace. Oh.